Hi everyone, I'm Javi, I Can Draw. Welcome to yet another video on hands. I know, but I'm doing this video because I think I finally got it right. I think I got exactly the technique that it takes to get hands right. It is not very dissimilar of what I was trying to show you last week, but it's still there are tiny few changes that I made that I think that they're going to make the difference. Now, on the last video, I figured out how to do thumbs, and now I'm going to figure out how to do the rest of the fingers, because I think that I found the secret. Now, I'm going to go through a few steps, but I'm going to name them right now so you can have kind of a tiny idea of what I'm going to do. Well, first, I'm going to start with motion. Define what is the line that is going to flow using a line of action to draw the hand. You can see that on the, not on the previous video, on the last one about doing gesture drawing. First you do that, then you do the sort of slice of red that we do for the base of the hand, for the palm. And then what you do is you try to focus on either this finger, on the index finger, or the pinky finger, depending on the angle that you are drawing the hand. You focus on the finger that is closer to you, or the one that is most prominent. So maybe you're seeing the hand from this angle and you're thinking that you have to focus on the pinky, but no, you have to focus on the index finger if you're like pointing at something or something like that. Once you get one of those fingers ready, you focus on the other finger, because the action that this finger does defines the action of where this finger is going to be. They're not separate in their actions. The only moment when they're separate is when you're doing like the Spider-Man pose. That's the only moment. The rest of the time, they are related. So once you got those two, these two will solve for themselves and you don't have to worry about them anymore. And then you can just simply focus on the thumb. Also, if you're just focusing on the index finger and the thumb becomes very prominent because of what you're doing, like a bang bang or something like that, you can also do these two first and then focus on the rest of the hand. Now the thing is that once you get these two fingers, the index and the pinky, ready, you can kind of do the whole mitten thing that I talked about on previous videos. That like to start with the mitten is very complicated. At least I didn't like it. But if you start focusing on the fingers first and then get these two will get to just solve themselves. It is super easy. Now I'm going to go to the computer and do some drawing. Chances are that because I'm filming and I get a little bit nervous, the drawings are not going to be as good as I expect, but I have like a lot of other drawings that I've been doing the last few hours, so I'm going to try to show you them as well. Okay, here we are. So for example, let's do a hand. I don't know what it's doing. First, let's do the line of action. I'm going to improvise a bit. You do the kind of bread slice here. So see, I'm going to focus first, I'm going to define where the middle of the slice is, because this particular curve, see that this puts the fingers in perspective, that's going to make the fingers go like in all of these ways, and that makes it actually more natural. If you're seeing a hand, there is actually that curve that doesn't put all the fingers on a parallel line, but they put them actually kind of spread. So let's do the fingers doing something like this, and then the pinky is going to be doing something like this. And you see, well, I could do the Spider-Man pose here, but once you have these two, unless you are Spider-Man, you can see that you can have this like this, and there you go, they kind of solve themselves. Those two fingers in the middle. Remember how we talked about how they kind of always acted as like one finger, like one giant finger? Well, that still applies. So you get this. Now I know it's not my best hand. There's this curve here, I have this thing. Do you have that thing? Because I know that several hands have it like that on different paces. But I like to have them because it also helps. It also helped me realize that the index finger is pretty much on itself all the time. Like it's the one that is well, leading and pointing towards the action. And these three that are just got together here they're grouped here, they kind of act as one. But it's easier to start solving with the pinky than to just try to get them all at once. So that's what I'm doing. And then, well, once you have this, you get the thumb, and the thumb is going to be, well, I don't know, it's going to be like this. Now I'm going to flip it to see if it makes any sense. And it kind of does! The pinky, it's a little bit, well, it's not my best pinky. I'm gonna give them that. See, I'm not drawing super hands, but at least they look like hands again. So see, I'm going to try to show you some examples of what I've been doing. There's going to be some awful hands here, but stay with me. See, at this one, look at this hand. It's a natural hand. It's a natural, falling, relaxed hand that I always wanted to draw for at least, well, 2 weeks. And what I did was just this thing. I drew the movement, then I did the bread slice. You can see it here. Then I drew this relaxed finger. I drew this relaxed finger, and then I did kind of the mitten, so I could pretty much tell the distance, you know, the proportions of this curve. And once I got that, well, these two basically drew themselves. I did a very relaxing thumb, now that I know how to draw thumbs, and, well, the rest of the hand. I know that I need a lot more practice, but this is good. I like where this is going. I was trying here to draw a hand in a bit of a context. I was see, I was placing it in some sort of female hip or something like that, and I did exactly the same thing. I did the bread slice, I solved this finger, then I solved this finger. These two basically are spread between those two spaces, and then I threw the thumb here where you don't see it. Same applies here. A really relaxed index finger. Then this, I don't think I actually solved the pinky before doing the rest of the fingers. I kind of treat them like one thing. Yeah, I don't always obey these rules, but I was trying things. Here I did exactly the same. First the bread slice, sorry for that. First the bread slice, then the index, then the pinky, then this two following the curve, and then the thumb. And I was doing the same thing on all of them. This is not very clear. I'm going to try to make it a bit clearer. On this one, I was focusing on this thing about the fingers being spread in perspective. But once you're like, if you're doing a closed hand, you can just box these fingers in, you know, and kind of get away with it. And the thumb was here. I'm really proud of my thumbs now. I know they're not perfect, but they are just a vast improvement. This one I was trying to do one of the hands I used on the last video. That hand was traced. I was trying to do this on my own to see if I could figure it out. Because you see, well, this is not a good hand. But you see that sometimes to add some expressiveness to the hand, for example, you're doing this, and if you just you slide the pinky to the side, it gives it a lot of personality. It looks like the fingers are alive. I was trying to do that. Well, I have yet to practice some. Let's see what else. Well, this is another practice for a relaxing hand, but you see from this angle, once you have the index finger and all of these are covered, you just kind of do like this. You don't actually just go with all of them. You save a lot of time. Here we're trying to do something where the index finger was the pointing one, but the one on the forefront was the pinky, and also trying to make this like this double volume where this is one shape, and then you have this bottom shape here with the index and this in the middle. You know what I mean? Like this is a shape, and this is another shape, and these two are like in the middle. Well, they don't do much. Here I was trying some of that. Here I was doing the superhero flying pose. You know, when they're flying and then they put their hands like that. And I don't think I have much to show you because these are previous and it gets, well, it can get a lot worse. See, this thumb is all wrong. But you know, what matters is what I showed you on the first hand that I drew here, is those steps that I took. And when you think about it, they kind of mix all the techniques that I previously tried. You know, so you start with motion and gesture for a line of action, then you do the breath slice, then you do one of these two fingers and you do it like the old school way of one cylinder on top of each other. And then you do the mitten to solve these two, and then you do the thumb like the way I learned to do the thumb, which is like using some guidelines like the ones you use when you're drawing a face. I hope you like this. I feel truly realized this was a hard week, but I think I got it right. I think I got some nice hands. I may or may not do a video on drawing on male hands versus female hands. I really don't know the difference yet, so I don't know if I want to go into that. But still, if you like this, I'm very happy. I hope it is useful. I hope you get to practice a lot and try these things that I've been doing all these weeks, but mostly what I've been doing today. I'm Javi, I Can Draw. I'll see you on the next video, and that's it. Bye!